Hello, we're live. Champ Man, 25 review, 26 preview. Luke here, Disable, and with me.
Good evening, guys. FPL tactician Andy in the house. I'm back.
Well, let me turn you down. I've got my chat on my phone, and I just heard you announce yourself twice. So that's not a good start. We've always got to have a messy beginning. It always happens.
Hopefully, that's the last of the technical issues, because often when I'm on, it's normally in an echo. Or
yeah, that's true. Well, that hasn't been for a while. I think I've got a little snowball here that Fantasy Football Scout bought me once, and it's treated me well so far. Anyway.
Okay, that's fine. Hopefully, it's better than what Dave does. So that's cool.
Watch any of the football today?
Yeah, struggled. I mean, I watched more Norwegian football today than I did English football, so I'm happy with it. Like, Norwegian football is much more exciting. It's more end to end.
Is it really?
It is. Yeah, it is fine. So.
Wow.
So if you got any Bran updates, it's Bran against Rosenborg at the moment. So put that in the chat if you're watching. But I'm sure it's very niche, the amount of people that are watching that as well.
I once bought a player from Rosenborg on CM, by the way. That's a fun tangent. Who had like terrible stats everywhere. This is in about 2020. I think I played a game like that long, and he had like passing 20, creativity 20, off the ball 20. He had stamina like 4. So what would happen is he'd make it to about 80 to 90 passes by half time, and then I'd have to sub him every time because he'd be on about 50% condition. He was some sort of freak player. It was so cool.
Brilliant.
Yeah, always remember that guy. Right, let's do it then, I guess.
Everyone's in the chat. FPL Heskabo 1-1 as it stands. Cheers. I did see the half-time score. David Strong, good evening. FPL JJ in the house. So, yeah, a few people here watching. Good to see you. And I think they're probably ready for the carnage later on. But it's not as bad as it was midweek. No. That was insane. So
yeah, that was mental. Yeah, not as bad, but there's a few little bits for sure. Let's get into the review then and try and fly through this if we can, because to be honest, I think out of all the weeks so far, probably last week was the biggest non-event out of all of them, I'd say. It certainly was for me anyway.
Yeah, I think there's one or two, and this one's been definitely one of the worst non-event game weeks anyway. So
yeah, I mean, I had Phillips captain, which he only got an assist. I was pretty annoyed about, but when you look at most people had Henry or other people, I mean, he was one of the better ones, it turned out in the end, because he got 2 bonus, which says it all really, because most weeks you've got one of the forwards hitting at least a brace or a hat-trick or something, but it just didn't happen.
Yeah, and even those who captain Phillips are like laughing really, because not many attackers got any returns at all. So how many points did you get?
Oh, I can't even remember. You're asking now. 40, I think. 40, 44 maybe? Something 44. Like that. Yeah, not
so
great.
It's not too bad. It's about average. Well, just a little bit above average, I think.
Yeah. I was happy enough. Treading water, though. I'm still around the 100th place, where I've been since game week 3. I just can't get anywhere, man. It's impossible. Right, let's look at this then. So Blackburn and Man United. I'm not sure if the screenshots are up yet on Whitebid's site. They might be, but if not, obviously we're still going to plough through it anyway. You can see here that Blackburn, although they were at home, didn't do much. They usually set up in their defensive formation when they're at home against the big boys. They don't actually play defensive. They're on the normal, so they can actually do okay. And they obviously managed to get the 1 goal from their 2 shots on target. Thank you, Mr. Orachabuka. But as we've said before, Barton's got that tendency to.
It happens all the time with Man U keepers. Like, they concede 2 shots on target and they concede 1. Like,
it's a real big problem when you're playing the game. I've said this before about the super keepers thing. It's like you'll have 85 shots in the game or something, can't score a goal for love nor money, and the computer will have 1 shot, 1 goal against your just to level it up, and it'll be 1-1 just to stop you winning every game if you play.
I had a Champions League final when I was playing. It was like 30 shots, 15 on target. They had 1 and 1, and I lost in like 90th minute.
Yeah.
So.
Standard CM, that is, I'm afraid. Yeah, the play was roughly 50-50 as well here, and stats wise, obviously Brad Friedel had a bit of a super keeper here, although it was only 5 on target, so not as bad as it can be. Jason McAteer with the assist. I think he got man of the match last week as well, so he's on a little bit of a run. David Weatherall, I big up nearly every time I'm on stream here. I think again another 9. I just think he's a really solid pick, to be honest, for average rating and stuff. I think he's just a good option overall.
Just that big, solid, old defender.
Yeah, it's this thing here, the jumping. Loves, that I'm 8 foot. I mean, he's also sticking in the tackles as well, to be fair to him. And obviously Bex came off injured in the 24th. Not what Man United needed, because they're already pretty ravaged. And Solskjaer, of course, gets the goal rather than
of course. How many times is this the first start for Solskjaer? He's come on a few times, but I think
it's 1 start. Yeah, 4 starts. I mean, even Danny Webber got a brace in the cup.
crazy, absolutely crazy.
It's mental.
And York hit the bar, I think, didn't he?
I think he did from the commentary, if I remember rightly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did. Poor bastard.
And again, he's not a bad captain for this week, but
I agree. I agree, and I'm actually getting him. I'm transferring him in, so I am going to get York's first haul. I'm telling you now, I'm calling that again. I called it last week, to be fair, and he did sod all though, so don't listen to me. Let's move on. Cheltenham and Ipswich. Again, this game, not much went on at all here. Obviously, 0-0. When you look at these statistics, there wasn't a lot of shots in the game. In my Sims, Charlton actually did pretty well in this. I had them like over 2 goals on average, over 20, so I expected them to score here. I don't have Hariderson, so I was very, very disappointed that yet again they managed to get this clean sheet and played a bit of a strange setup this time. They don't always play this tactic, but it worked for them. Yeah. And Hariderson got his bonus yet again. He's just, especially in a week where some people might have benched him away from home if they had the option, because obviously he's not as good away, but then so many people missed out that they undoubtedly would have got him come in and then got his bonus. So that was a bit of a kick in the teeth for me.
I'm so sure people would have got Hariderson points if they got him, if they owned him.
Indeed.
I mean, I've got Rufus in my zombies. He's about the only return I got this week, I think, from my zombies.
Oh, really?
So I was pleased with his clean sheet.
Nice. And Mark Fish has been playing all right recently as well. We seem to notice him get man of the match over Rufus a couple of times, I think, or at least get higher rating than him. He's only got 1, so he kind of got man of the match before. But
he is away now, though, isn't he?
Of course, yeah. That's right. Wilcox was a pretty poor game for him here. And Jason Ewell was pretty good, to be fair. Won quite a lot of headers, just obviously didn't get that many shots. Sean Bartlett completed 2 passes the entire game, playing up front for 90 minutes.
Yeah, not great.
Good effort, mate. Derby and Villa, obviously all eyes were on Derby, and they did pretty good, I think, here. 8 shots on target, 14 total. A little bit more of the play, only just. 2-1.
Seemed a fair result. Yeah, fair result.
Yeah, I agree.
And the thing because I put Valakari actually in my zombies as well, so that's the other return I got. But the thing about Derby that I liked second half of the season was the amount of home games they had. So I think they only played 7 away games in the first 19. So they had 12 home games for the second half. So
yeah, similar to Leeds, wasn't it? So one of the teams to look at. Yeah. Carbonari scored a free kick. I think this was a free kick, I'm pretty sure. In fact, I know it was. I remember from the tweets, because Christie hasn't got the assist, as you can see here, but we add them if they win the free kicks. That's right, isn't it? So he was the one who was fouled for the free kick. Valakari again with the goal. He's just been incredibly consistent, really, as far as midfielders go.
He's really good. I think he's in the top 15 for midfielders in the game, I think.
Yeah, that's not bad at all, is it? Wouldn't have expected a Derby DM to be in that at the beginning of the season. I don't think anyone would have called that. Lescott again here, just great with a jumping stat, just winning so many headers. Still think he's a good option for the triple incoming.
Yeah, I think they've got they've got a decent spine of 3 or 4 players, like goalkeeper, Lescott, Carbonari, Valakari. They're about the only 4 really. And
then back, Ravanelli or Christie when they're actually fit and playing as well. It's not bad, is it? It's okay. They've been hit by the Aranio thing quite a bit, because Seth Johnson's obviously a really good player in the game as well. So when he gets to play on the left and they get Aranio on the right, they're a little bit better as well. Oh, I've got a red dot over your head now. How's that going to go away? It's going to go away. There we go. And yeah, Juan Pablo and Angel and Balaban didn't do too much here. Dublin did alright at centre back. That was a bit of a surprise to see him there, wasn't it? But he has got rating in the game for a centre back, so it does happen on often. And he is actually, on paper, he's a great centre back. He's actually got this positioning stat, which is the important one for defenders, which usually forwards don't have. But obviously, he's got 15 there, which is higher than probably a lot of the other centre backs in the game. Certainly higher than Monk, etc. So he's not bad. Leeds and Bolton. I think Bolton with 5 shots on target, only 1 goal. Maybe could have got another one here, and Leeds obviously laid a bit of a siege. Bit of a non-event though in terms of points, because obviously Ian Hart decided to
crazy.
Have the day off.
That Leeds lineup. You got Jacob Burns, Mabry's in there still. It's just Singh. Just the mind boggles, like how much the regular players like Hart and Kuehl are pretty much nailed all the time. They may miss 2 or 3 games a season if they're fit.
Yeah.
And
Kill was injured for this, I think. I think he was like 56% or something orange, so that explains him sort of. But then the game had been playing Harpal Singh when he's not been playing, and obviously McFell, and he didn't play. He was on the bench. So something tells me that even if their players had been fit, because they were ravaged for this game, this was a Rep 12 game anyway, at home to Bolton. I mean, the likes of Jacob Burns barely ever features.
So you think because they got the midweek game anyway that they've taken this chance to rest a few?
I don't think they even take that into account. I just think that this was a game picked to do it, and even if all their players were fit, there was a chance that this kind of lineup would have played. You know, maybe you've had a Bridges in here or something, or one of the others, but because generally when they rest, like Man United do, they'll either rest their whole 11 or leave like one or two names in there. So obviously Ferdinand and Radaby featured, but I mean even Kelly didn't play at right back. He gets rotated a little bit. See. And Bakker is not nailed. None of the midfielders here are nailed when they got their full team. Only Decour's the one who's like close to it, but a bit strange.
Bowyer, Kuehl, it's pretty standard that.
Yeah. And Colin Cooper didn't get an 8 or a 9 for the first time in forever, but you know it was away to Leeds, so kind of let him off. But he still did okay. Got a 7. Still won most of his exchanges here. Still think he's a really good pick. And there wasn't too much else to note really. Rio Ferdinand's been dominating recently very, very well. His stats have improved quite a lot. So usually the thing that lets him down is this aggression and for tackles, but he's doing okay now. His average rating's bumped up quite a lot, and you can see these 20s are starting to come all over the place now for him.
Yeah, I just point out Rob Pick in the chat saying, "Did Andy just say Jacob Burns?" And I did. I don't think it's Jacob Burns. I think it's Jacob.
Well, he's Australian, so surely it's Jacob.
Okay, so maybe I'll get all my Leeds players.
I mean, he's Australian. I can't imagine it being Jakob. That sounds kind of, continental or something there, Andy.
I've always said Jakob, even though I know it's spelled Jacob and I know he's Australian. I've always said Jakob.
I stand to be corrected, but I don't even remember the guy at all, to be honest. Do you remember this guy? I don't remember him in real life.
Yeah, he played Champions League games for us.
Yeah, you're a Leeds fan. You should know how to pronounce it. Come on, man.
It's Jacob Burns. I'm pretty sure it's Jacob, but okay. I'm getting slaughtered from Leeds pronunciations anyway, so let's just move on.
Let's move on swiftly. Again, another game where not really much happened goalmouth-wise. That tends to be kind of a thing with Middlesbrough. I think they kind of kill most games they're in, to be honest, and sort of make it quite an even contest, which this was. Obviously, this was the first game with the new manager, which I can't remember who it is now. What's his name? Billy Davis, that's it. He plays this new style. So, obviously didn't get the goals in the end, but they won at home, and it was a good start for Sturridge, wasn't it, with a goal and assist straight away.
Yeah, new manager bounce. I mean, it's come again. So.
It does look like that, doesn't it? I mean, I said about last stream there might be some strange decisions with the lineup, but to be honest, Matt Elliott was the one. He was fit and he didn't play. He's obviously their best centre back, so I think aside from him, it's probably the only one we could really point to as missing out. I think Wise was injured, and you could maybe say McAnuff was the only other one that dropped out, but apart from that, it was just the surprise admission of Elliott, which was a surprise, to be honest with you. But Sturridge did well, and I think Sturridge, one of his goals was a header, which you just know if Ekiog was there, it wouldn't have happened, was it? I think he's winning every header for like the last 3 months solid. I don't think he's missed one. So,
and that's the key to it. Middlesbrough have lost their key man. All that good early form and pushing for the title is gone because Ekiog's not there, and you can get at them now. So.
Yeah, I think you might be right.
And Gordon left back now, Fester back into the middle, it just doesn't work. No,
it's not great.
Johnston goes left.
Gordon, actually, the funny thing with him, where was it? I noticed his jumping is 4. Look, so he is essentially a midget in this game, and he's playing in a defensive position. So that is a worry. Because he's going to have to try and win more headers if he actually plays at left back. That's why I think the game doesn't really play him there if it's got the choice. His aggression is low as well, so he can definitely be got at defensively.
He's quick at least. He's not going to get beaten by quick defenders, but
no.
In the air, yeah.
Really, the game should just not play Windass. They shouldn't play him. They should play Greening in the centre with Ince and play Johnston on the right, Gordon on the left, Fester at left back, and then just bring in Pearce, who's not bad. He's okay. He can do a job.
Solid defender, yeah.
Yeah, but don't think like that, does it? It does what it
wants. And Stockdale, I don't really like Stockdale either.
No, he's all right for getting assists though. He's got this pace and acceleration and agility, so he can do that thing of like Arca where he can run past people for fun. So he can do that part, but defensively, again, he's all over the place. Marking 9, jumping 7. So they're really relying on their centre-backs now to defend. Let's go to Liverpool Spurs. The return of Michael Owen. Do you like Michael Owen in this game, Andy?
I do like him. Yeah, I think he's different to other strikers in the game. Like he's just so quick and feeds on those through balls, and like Fox in the box, and like those stats are amazing. Like he's not going to win any headers in the air. If you get it through to him, he's running onto through balls, or just if keeper saves it, Michael Owen is going to tap in the rebound often as well. So I do really like him, and I think his price at 11.5 is pretty fair. I think you disagree, don't you? You think he should be a bit lower?
I think he should be maybe a tiny bit lower, but only based off the fact that he spends most of the season injured more than anything else. I think when he plays, he could potentially offer the value there. The only thing is when you got Shearer at 10, that's what kind of sways everything. But then if we just say that Shearer was a little bit mispriced, then Owen's okay at that price, I think.
Yeah, I really like Owen. I think he's a good option if he can. Yeah, if he stays fit. And they've got decent fixture on, have they? What are Liverpool fixtures?
Yeah, people have targeted him. People have already got him this week, I think. I think Irons definitely did. He told me he was going to get him, and a few others got him. It's not a bad run, is it? Villa, Ipswich, Middlesbrough. They're at home to Chelsea, so that'll be a gimme.
Newcastle away is a great fixture.
Yeah.
They'll attack in that.
Yeah. Only Arsenal's probably the tough one here. The rest of them, and there's a really good run after that as well, so it's not bad at all.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good options for the forward spots, but Owen is as good as anyone. It's kind of like an Henry kind of figure.
Yeah, and the good thing about him is Liverpool score a lot of goals, but they never go all down to one player. They're usually all over the place, they rotate and stuff, but once Owen's there, he generally plays every game, so he's probably one of the only nailed-on attackers you can get. You'll probably see Heskey, Lippmann and Fowler all switch here, and Owen usually stay for the rest of the time, you would have thought anyway. Bishgan as well. I sold him on wildcard 2 weeks ago, and he scores. It's another one that people may have even benched this week, and obviously would have probably got. So that was a killer as well for me. But I did have Sammy Hippier, which I was absolutely over the moon with because he's my highest scorer this week by a mile. I've had Hippier all season, I think.
Hippier's great. I love Hippier, but Hippier and Honcho.
Yeah, they're both fantastic once they're playing. And is there anything to say about Spurs? I mean, Everson hit a 4. That was pretty funny. Because I think he's actually been he's in the top 5 for average rating for all season. He's been playing.
Well, he was,
yeah. He's finally got his gig up front because Rebrov has been out the last few, and he's hit 1-4, and his morale drops instantly to very low.
Is that just because he didn't win any headers then? That's how Hippier got man of the match. Because they mentioned on the stream as well yesterday, James was saying that about the matchup with Hippier and Everson. That's basically what happened. Yeah,
and he's bang on. I mean, he did terrible anyway. 7 passes, didn't win any tackles, didn't win anything, but he didn't have any shots. But also the headers, once you're up against Hippier and Henshaw, I mean, they're dominated here in the air. So, yeah, he's bang on with that. Yeah. And Simon Davies, who's been very good of late, only managed a 6, but he still did okay. Slakovic is really pissing me off.
Spurs never got going in that game at all, did they?
No.
Nothing at all.
I really think the Ledley King thing. I mean, the quality that they've got on the pitch isn't as good as what they usually can here. They've got, Johnson. He's like essentially a championship quality player in the centre midfield, and then they've obviously got King rather than their best defender Richards, and it's not great, is it?
No.
And they're still playing Teddy up front, centre forward, who's got pace. Where is it? Pace 6, acceleration 6. Playing away from home, it's not really what you need.
Yeah, he's fading a bit as well. Second half of the season, Teddy.
Definitely. Sunderland, Fulham. On paper, I had this game down for about 3-3 as usual because it involves Fulham. I had Phillips as captain, and when you look at the shots, I was stunned really that pretty much nothing happened. I mean, Sunderland dominated most of the ball here, but just didn't seem to get going. I think probably largely due to the fact that Arca was fit for this game, wasn't he? And he just had the day off again, so they lost their main attacking threat. They were relying on Kilban, who's not played all season, Medina
and George McCartney. Oh.
Yeah, exactly. It
disgusting.
They even dropped Tome. I think he was fit for this game as well. So they dropped Tome for Craddock. But to be fair, I mean, Craddock actually played really well here. He won 13 headers out of 14. So he did good. Very good.
Who got man of the match again?
I think it was Goma again.
Oh, Goma, yeah. Okay.
Who just continues to, home or away, do very well. Again, he dominated in the air here against Sibon and Phillips. I just looked, they barely won any headers.
So defenders never got a look in. The attackers never got a look in.
It's rare for a centre back away from home to do that well though, so that was good. And obviously Stolz's coming off in the 20th minute. Another player I had, and a lot of people had, that was highly annoying. That's about it really. There wasn't too much else to say. I think Wadada is now one we're going to talk about because he is. Has he gone off? I think he's gone off now, isn't he?
He's one that's gone. Yeah.
International duty. And Crowdson, the other reason why a lot of us went Phillips, I know he got the assist, was the fact that we had Crowdson in goal here, who's shocking, but he somehow managed to pull out an 8, so fair play to him.
Brilliant, yeah.
2 shots on target, though, so how he got an 8, I'm not sure, but there we go. Arsenal and Newcastle. Van Bronckhorst has quietly, he had a really, I bigged him up before the season started. I said he's one of the best 8 million picks to get. Really liked him, and he obviously did nothing for like the first, 15, 20 games of the season. But I've just noticed in the last few weeks he has started kicking into gear when he's been playing a lot. I mean, in the cup here he's got a 10 with a man of the match assist goal, and he's been popping up every now and then. So
because you didn't, I mean, you liked him at the start of the season because the chance of him playing left wing, but Tikhonov's obviously left wing, but he's still performing centre mid.
Yeah.
So is he just taking the Vieira role and driving forward, do you think? Or?
Yeah, I mean, partially. Usually when they play this setup, the defensive guy's here, and then they've got the one with the AMC arrow is here. They obviously haven't played it here, but the reason I liked him so much at the start of the season was, that he'd probably play left wing until they signed Tikhanov, and if he didn't play left wing, there was a chance he'd play centre mid because obviously they'd sold Vieira. So I was like, it's going to be even more nailed than usual. Would be a great buy, but it didn't work out that way at all. But obviously he's playing well now, and the only worry is you just think that any game he could drop out again. That's the only problem. But it's like that for nearly every Arsenal midfielder, unfortunately, isn't it?
So we're now seeing an Arsenal midfielder you can actually go to, you think? Or is it just the rotation's going to kill you still and just avoid? But rotation for everyone though. Like
there is, you're right. I think for the double, and it's a midfielder. I've said before, I don't think midfielders you need to worry too much about. And if it's for the double, why not throw in a Van Bronckhorst there or someone like that, or a Tikhanov or a Pires, and just hope that they play both of them because they could do well. I don't know about holding one long term though. That's the only thing. I think the best bet is to. I like Scowcroft again's popping up on the radar now under that new manager and playing up front. I still think he's an option. So it's sort of those players. And Dyer's still an option, although they did nothing here. I mean, 0 shots, 0 on target for Newcastle. Sim suggested this. I got 16 clean sheets out of 20 in this sim when I did it. So I was highly expecting that to happen. I didn't have any Arsenal defence, so I really wanted him to do anything, but I knew it wasn't going to happen.
And Shearer against Arsenal Man U, I've done a lot of sims and he rarely scores.
They just don't really get the ball.
Yeah.
Defensive, men behind ball. That's the sign straight away that they're not even going to attempt to attack the entire game, and it's straight from the off. It's just going to come down to whether the other team can break them down. They almost got away with it, to be fair. I know they scored the 12th minute, but in terms of only 2 shots on target, they had loads of the ball. But if you look at their stats, you can just see that because they're on short passing here. Albertini and Van Bronckhorst are hitting the high 60s, which rarely happens. They've just been, doing old Arsenal of old, I guess, and just dancing around with the ball, but not actually putting any shots on goal. And Henry's kind of starved of service. He had no shots in the entire game. Home to Newcastle. Crazy.
Both teams just like 1-0 is fine. Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
If you were wildcarding, then would you bring in Van Bronckhorst? If you're starting like wildcarding this week or next week, would you get him in?
I might have him for the double, to be honest, in 28. I don't think they double this week, do they? They don't, if I remember rightly.
No. No, because the game got moved to 28, so it was a blank in 26.
They're blanking this week, obviously. Then they're playing Leicester, and then they're playing the double of Charlton and West Ham. So
the big double in 28 because it's a great 2 fixtures.
I'd consider it. Yeah, I'd have to see what the rest of the team looks like, but I'd certainly consider that.
And a lot of people might be wildcarding after the treble game week, so it could be loading up on Arsenal,
so they can fix it afterwards as well or whatever. West Ham, Everton. I'm not going to spend too long here because I don't think anyone's got any of these guys. But Peter Clark put in a absolute beast of a performance here with load of headers. But again, he's got this 19 jumping, so he's basically a beanpole and just won all the ball in the air.
And he can get England caps in the future.
Yeah.
Peter Clark.
Indeed. And there wasn't really anything. I mean, they swapped back Gerrard into goal. Simonson, his 5s and 4s.
Terrible.
Yeah. A little bit more shots than some of the other games, to be fair, but the quality on show here is obviously not really up for it. And Joe Cole still not. I mean, his stats are still kind of there, but it's just West Ham are just not doing enough, are they? They've actually got pretty good fixtures. I do actually like. Look, if you look at this, Southampton, Leicester, away to Arsenal, yeah, tough. Blackburn, Derby, Charlton. I think that's not bad. I don't think that's the worst.
So you're saying West Ham are going to get out of not going down?
I mean,
are you gonna? Is that your prediction?
Don't put words in my mouth. No.
What are they 12 points? 12 points adrift. I still wouldn't touch them. I know there's good fixtures, but
it's a hard sell, isn't it?
Joe Cole's 8 million. 8 million on Joe Cole for West Ham is not great.
No, I don't think I'd go there either. To be honest, I was trying to sell him for a.
That's fine. Yeah. just get Repka, maybe.
Yeah, and especially if you want some red cards mixed in, just some action. This couldn't have been more one-sided if it tried. Could it? 65%. I mean, one shot again, similar to the Newcastle game, really. Sim suggested this was a 2-3-4-0 for Chelsea nearly every time. A lot of people targeted this game for good reason. Targeting Southampton is a valid strategy. Unfortunately, a lot of people went for the Good Johnson route. Or the Carbone route, who was very, very popular, and the game decided to troll everyone and throw Stanic in at right wing.
I saw everyone bringing in Carbone. Like every chat I was in, I was like, "Yep, Carbone." I was like, "Oh, you're gonna hate it again." He's a good price, 6.5 against Southampton at home. Viable captain choice because on pens as well.
Yeah,
and then just doesn't feature.
And then Terry as well was another one who's been churning out the 8s up until now. Again, it's a home game against a low rep side, and any time that happens, your chances increase of the better players being rotated. And here it just happened to be Carbone. I think he's played every game since he came.
Yeah,
pretty sure he has. So yeah, and then I found this funny actually. Zola obviously has put in 2 performances all season now. I think one was game week 3 or somewhere around there, and then this one, which is obviously a haul. In between that, he's been one of the worst picks for the whole season. It's not far off of Dwight York if you take those 2 out of it. But what I found really funny here is obviously Zola's small. He's got 10 for jumping, so if he does play up front, he usually gets dominated. However, when he was playing in this formation, he's actually up against Delap. So I looked at Delap, and Delap's got 7 for jumping, so there's no surprise.
He's winning those battles. Yeah.
So Zola, for the first time in his life, was winning every header going.
Every duel, he's up there.
4 headers, 4-1 for Zola. You will never see that again. So thank you for Mr. Dodd.
Yeah. Can I just mention while we talk about Zola as well, because someone who's on Zola for ages was FPL Bricky.
Right.
This is in the Wolfpack chat. Held him for ages, persisted with him. Then he wildcarded this week. And his wildcard squad got 16 points this week.
He sent me the message and I just burst out laughing. Genuinely, he sent it to me, and I looked at his team and it looked great. I was like, I can't even slag that off.
I know.
It's just like, what can you do?
How do you wildcard into 16 points? You could pick any name out of the hat and you wouldn't do as bad as that.
I think Sammy Hippier alone got 12 points. Something like that. Oh God!
You could have picked 3 Southampton, 3 West Ham, 3 Leicester, and scored more than 16.
You could. You're right.
Yeah,
oh dear! I can't laugh. Usually, this can all switch around now. Next week he's going to get a monster score, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's how this game works, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's it in terms of.
And the Monday fixture as well. So that's a bit awkward because Chelsea, obviously.
Yeah. And we're going to find out now how they're doing in terms of condition. But it's literally 2 days later in the games. We've simmed these 2 days. Obviously, the blank ones, we're at the point where the games are about to kick off, and they're all on the same day. So whatever condition you see them at is obviously what they're going to be for today.
Yeah. And just going back onto the fixtures, because Southampton played 2 days ago. I think it was FPL Ronald Ridd in the chat earlier about Selakovic against Southampton. Is he a captain choice? Do you target Southampton?
He's going to be my captain.
Is he? Okay. Fine.
Yeah, I think that I'm going to bring up the odds later. I do like him as captain. I like him because of Southampton more than anything else, and the fact he's obviously on pennies. So I'm hoping I get lucky because him as a player, bonus wise, we're really relying on him to score here. Otherwise, it's going to be a blank, isn't it? That's the problem with him.
Yeah.
Whereas you've got other players like your Vidukas and even your Dwight Yorks or whoever for Man United. When we bring those, even if they don't score, they're likely to get bonus. So it's a risk, but it's just more the target Southampton thing. So I am a fan of it.
Sorry, Bricky got just in the chat as well saying he got 17 points. So apologies, Bricky.
Oh, sorry, mate. Disservice.
Sorry. Yeah, I forgot about some save point.
Also, I just want to point out that obviously on the same day we've got Arsenal playing Derby at home in the FA Cup and Charlton playing Rotherham at home in the FA Cup. So they're obviously played on the same day in a little while as well, and that's obviously part of the reason why they're blank, isn't it? So we'll have those results next stream as well. I don't know if that affects it. Won't affect anything. It's a replay, won't it? So they'll just go into the pool.
Yeah, I mean, it could be extra time, which will affect fitness for the Saturday.
That's true. Yeah, didn't consider that.
That could be an issue.
Right, let's get to it. So remember, all playing today. Arsenal, we've got Tony Adams. I think that was already a thing, was it? Oh no, he was injured in the Newcastle game, so it's a new one. So 2 weeks out for Tony Adams. Obviously a double coming up in 28, so potentially out for that one, is he? If it's 2 weeks.
Yeah, I think so. Or maybe not, actually.
No, he might be alright, mightn't he?
Because you've got an FA Cup game to go in there as well.
He might be orange here, mightn't he? Or no, actually, so 6th. My maths is terrible. He might be okay. But I don't think anyone's got Tony Adams. But I'm just talking in terms of this solidarity of their defence. Solidity. Is that better?
If Adams is missing, would Upson get a start?
He's been dropping in, hasn't he, Upson? But you'd expect it's going to be Campbell and then either Keown or Upson. Keown's usually the one who comes in, but he's not done much at all, actually. I think Upson's played more, so you're probably right. It's probably more likely to be him.
Again, it's too much of a punt. If you've got Keown or Upson, just go for Campbell. Pay the extra.
Agreed. And I think everyone else is 100%. There's no other issues with Arsenal.
Who aren't playing anyway. FA Cup.
Let's move on. That's a good point. They're not even playing, are they? God. Don't need to worry about them. Dublin's still orange, 90%, 1 day with a calf strain. So he obviously already played last week, so he might still feature. Hadji is 40%, 3 weeks away still. Hendry is about a week, strained knee ligaments, 49%, so he won't be playing this week. And Barry is now, if he wasn't already, 1 away from a ban, 1 yellow card.
Rory in the chat saying, can we see when Lusney's suspension is? Please.
We can do that. It starts on the 9th, so in 3 days' time.
So he'll miss the next game week 27.
Yeah. He'll miss the Leicester game, won't he? Yeah. Okay.
New signing.
Wow.
Who can spot him?
Is he in this page? Am I blind?
I can't spot him.
Let's go here then, because he should be down here.
Big name. Oh, Starman.
Starman. Indeed. Here he is. One of the De Boer brothers.
The worst one.
Yeah, Frank was the centre-back, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Well, every time I think of De Boer brothers, I always think of the Laudrup brothers, who obviously were 50 times better, or Michael Laudrup certainly was.
Because the Rangers connection as well. When I always think of De Boer, I always think of the Bergkamp goal in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Frank De Boer.
He played the pass, did he?
It was Frank De Boer that played the pass.
Yeah. In terms of this game, Ronald De Boer, although he's obviously a star man, plays for Holland. His stats aren't amazing here, but I mean for Blackburn they're not too bad. I never seem to see him do particularly well for average rating, but it's not to say that he won't do well here. I haven't really paid attention. I need to stick him in and run a few sims to see how I'll do over the season, which I've not done yet. But the other issue with Blackburn, of course, is the fact that you just don't know what formation they're going to play every week and where he's going to play. The thing with Souness as well is he actually has got a lot of other formations that we've just not seen in this sim. He can throw out 4-4-2, he can throw out a flat 3-5-2, he can throw out throughout all sorts of variations. So I do wonder now if he's signing, it might change their thoughts a little bit, because he is a star player, I'd expect him to play, but more than likely he'll probably just play here if they play away from home. And then
number 10 though, if on the home, play Janssen and Bent up top.
You would have thought, right, that he'll either play here or here, and then stick Janssen up top, but it just adds more rotation to their forwards, unfortunately.
Yeah, but it'd be great to see De Boer in the number 10 role. That'd be exciting.
That would be tasty.
Can you just click on it, because it's 3.8 million, De Boer, and also we've priced him up as well. It's going to be 6 million midfielder.
7.5 million, 10.5 million recalls. He's getting paid well, 47 grand a week. It's not bad for Blackburn, is it?
Yeah, nice.
6 million, did you say?
6 million, yeah.
Middlesbrough, Everton, Newcastle, West Ham. That's not a bad run, is it?
They've got the double, right?
No, they've already had their double, haven't they?
Oh, sorry, it's just gone, isn't it? Leeds, yeah.
They haven't, but again, it's a midfielder. If you're taking punts, that's where to do it, I think. What else to talk about? None of these guys actually play, do they? There's no point me clicking any of them. None of them feature. 2 guys, 93%. The rest is good to go.
Nice. Hopefully De Boer straight in.
You would have thought, especially, I mean, they throw new signings in who can barely play the game, right? Kids who are like 18, so he should be getting straight in, you would have thought. Bolton Wanderers. Cooper's 1 game away from 1 yellow away from a ban. And everyone else looks to be, I mean, as perfect as you can be. There's no injuries. Ngotti's 99. Pedersen's good to go. I know he's going to be popular this week.
Yeah, I've heard a few get on Pedersen again.
Home to Fulham is always a good one, especially when they've got Crowdson in goal, haven't they? I know he was super keeper last week, but can it happen again?
Jack Brockenshire saying, is Ludvigsson any good for Blackburn?
He can get good. I think he's still quite raw. He can do all right later on in the game. He develops quite nicely. Not
Scandinavian is always good.
Yeah, a lot of them are, aren't they? You can get so many Scandinavians cheap at the beginning of this game. A lot of them are on part-time contracts as well, so you can just smash into him. But yeah, he can do okay. He's not one of the very best Scandinavians for sure, but I think it's probably a little bit too soon for him. I mean, he didn't play the last one, did he, for Blackburn? I'm pretty sure he didn't.
He played. Did he play the cup game? I think he played the cup game. I think.
Yeah, he didn't play against Man United though, but so I think it's a bit of a risk, to be honest.
Yeah. FPL Lions as well saying 5 yellows, 1 match ban. That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which again is 2 weeks after the yellow card.
That's
like
it.
The 5th yellow. Yeah.
So with Charlton, there isn't too much to report here. Obviously they're blanking this week. They are blanking this week, aren't they? And then they're doubling afterwards.
27. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll just skip past them somehow. So you don't need to worry about them. They're playing in the cup. But however, just for information, Fish has obviously gone off onto an international, and so has Bartlett now for South Africa. They come back, don't they? Once they get knocked out, right?
Yeah. So only once they get knocked out. Yeah. So it could be a whole month that they're away for, or they could get knocked out of the group stage and come back in like 10 days. Yeah.
That's it. So potentially there's a slot up front for Charlton alongside Yule. Which will probably
Jonathan
be
Johansson.
Yeah, probably be him. You would have thought. However, the manager threw Svensson. I mean, I think that's a bit of a one-off with the defensive formation away from home, because it wasn't even under the new manager, was it? It was under the assistant, if I remember rightly. Oh, no,
Lisby's okay.
I've got confused now.
Yeah, Lisby's okay, I think.
Lisby. Oh yeah, he can do. Yeah. I was thinking of Southampton for a second there.
Lisby's okay, but yeah, it'll be Johansson, I think.
And Shitu as well, which you mentioned. So that's both their centre backs potentially. Shitu and Fish. So you can have Rufus and maybe Yuds will come in again.
I don't like any ads. I don't know why I don't like him.
What, the letter you mean?
Just Eddie Yowds is just such an average player, and yeah.
I don't remember him at all again. Right, Arsenal, Chelsea. This is a big one. Obviously, people steamed into him. I think people were hoping Good Johnson might be back, but considering there was 2 days between the games, it was probably a bit silly. However, it's a whole month that he's out with a calf strain. So he is a definite goodbye, I think, if you're sitting on Johnson. Can't be wasting a striker slot, can you? So that.
And if you're on Good Johnson, go Michael Owen. That's what I think.
That's one of the shortest lived punts of all time. That Carlton Cole's out. Look at him, terrible. Di Matteo is still 10 days away, and Petit is 10 days away.
And Zola isn't 90%. Zola's a bit under.
He's not. He's 88%. So could still play.
Will they go Jimmy Floyd? Will he get a look in?
I mean, they've still got Forsell, so they could go Forsell and Zola if they wanted to be really horrible. But I feel like Jimmy will probably come back in. I mean, Leon Knight's seen games this season as well, hasn't he? So again, it's just too hard to call, really. I would expect Jimmy to come back in, but they've thrown Forsell and Knight in ahead of him already. So who knows? You know, potentially Zola they don't start at 88%, so it could be two of them. It's just a shame because the Leicester game is actually pretty good on paper as well. Especially because a lot of people will actually be, wild carding or free hitting and stuff like that in the other weeks, so they might want to steam into 1 game punts, and you just don't really know who there's going to play, unfortunately.
You can't risk it. If you're on Zola, keep Zola. That means 88% is likely to play.
I mean, if Jimmy comes back and he plays home to Leicester, his attributes are still decent. He's been developing despite not playing for some reason, and he's quite old. He doesn't always get the 20 for finishing down here.
He's been playing some reserve games.
Yeah. His morale's okay now. He's still waiting to see, trying to force his way into the first team. Interestingly, that's exactly what Akinbaye actually had in his bio before he came in and decided to smash up the league for 2 games and then get binned off again. So you never know. Maybe that's a sign.
Get Jimmy Floyd in.
Derby. Aranio's still 3 weeks. Dino is 2 weeks. Smith doesn't play, but he's 2 weeks. And everyone else is good.
So we've got the blank now. And then they've obviously got the treble game week.
Yes.
So, do you get 3 in? Because it's 3 games. It's a lot of games in 1 game week.
It really
do you just go for it? Is like a -8 worth it? Would you say for 3 games?
I think so much has got to do with the fact that what are you going to do after? Because straight away after the 3 games they go into away to Chelsea, which is not a great game on paper. So you don't want 3 of them. So it's going to come down to can you get rid of 1 or 2 afterwards, or are you able to bench 1 or 2 afterwards? You've got to. I think you mentioned it before the stream, haven't you? Look at these next sort of 2 or 3 weeks as like a block and just get everything else out of your mind. I mean, for me, there's like if you can get a player that plays 3 times, that's 6 points straight away, which is going to match the average midfielder's return. I mean, most midfielders getting 2 points every week, right? So if you chance a Valkyrie, a Burley, a Powell, and they end up playing all 3 weeks, you're probably doing okay, right? And all they have to do is get one bit of bonus, 1 attacking return.
You've made the hit up already. And the good thing is, it's not like it's 3 games in the week. It's 3 games over, is it 10 days or even longer than that?
It's almost 2 weeks, isn't it?
Because it's the week between the 2nd and 3rd game.
Yeah, so the first one is on the 9th and the final one is on the 20th. There's a week between the other 2.
Which is great.
Indeed.
So I think, like you're saying about trying to get off them after you've gone for 3, I think you try and get 3 in because it's 3 games. You can get Poom if you've got another playing keeper, because Poom you can easily bench going forward after that. You can go for a cheap defender in Lescott, and then you can get another one that you can transfer out, maybe a Valkyrie or Carbonara.
Yeah, I think if I was doing it, and haven't decided yet what I'm going to do with that, is I'd probably go Christie or Ravanelli. Still not sure there. I'd probably trust Christie to play more than Ravanelli just because of his injury proneness, it seems to be. Although Ravanelli's probably got the higher ceiling. And then you'd probably have to say Valkyrie. I do still quite like Burley just because he's the more offensive one. He should be doing better, so I feel like he's okay. And then Lescott and Puma are also good options. For me, I've got Kylie, so he also will double that week. So I can't justify taking a hit to get Poom there and play him over Kylie when he's also playing 2 games. It just doesn't seem to make any sense. But for other people who've only got to keep playing 1 time all day, then Poom's looking a good shout, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Taller's in the chat. Hi, Taller. He's saying that there might be an FA Cup game in the middle as well. But they've got Arsenal, haven't they, in the replay?
Yeah, they've got Arsenal here.
Arsenal away. So you expect Arsenal to win. So I think they're going to have a week break between the second and third game.
So they got,
because the FA Cup schedule is like that Saturday between Leeds and Everton.
Yes, they've got 3 days after Arsenal, then they've got 4 days for the next one, and then they've got 7 days. I think that's okay. If there is going to be any rotation, anyway, just on the reputation, because even the lower teams can do it, you'd expect the first game home to Newcastle to be that time, because Newcastle are the lowest rep side, and they don't really do it away. So if it was ever going to happen, it would probably be home to Newcastle. But with the the time lapse there, the condition, most players should be okay. It's just, of course, they could get injured in the cup, right? That's the problem, I suppose.
Yeah. Pep Talk saying Derby, avoid, don't bother. But triple game week, I think you got to go for it. I'd want the -8 and to try and get 3 in. Personally,
just think if you captain, I know it's like, if you just captain Christie or Ravanelli and they get bonus in one game, score 1 in the other, and get an assist in the other, you're suddenly sitting on a massive haul just from that. I would say you're sitting on 20 points from that plus. I think you are.
One clean sheet for Poom. So say if Poom gets a 2, a 3, and a 7, even that, it's just it's no brainers, like 13 points.
Yeah, and I think that's where people have got chips. I've got a head start here, definitely.
Any triple captain for Derby, or is it not worth it? Triple captain.
I mean, I probably wouldn't, just on the basis that if they do miss one of those games, suddenly you've triple captained a Derby player for 2 when you could have done Van Nistelrooy or someone like that, right? So,
yeah, like if Van Nistelrooy at home is better than Ravanelli for 3 games.
Yeah, I mean, he's competing that week against the likes of Shearer, who's got 2 good games. It is still tough competition. Viduka's still got 2 good games. It's a hard spot to win a forward spot, I would suggest. Everton have got David Weir out for 10 days still. Duncan Ferguson is still 2 months away, so I don't even think he'll probably play the last few games of the season, if at all. Osman's a week away. Everyone else is looking good, over 90%, including Gaza.
They're blanking though, aren't they?
They are indeed. Let's move on.
Everton for the double in...
Not for me. I mean, again, if I had a perfect team and I was creating a wild card, I'd probably consider putting one of the defenders in at 4.5, but I haven't got the room to do that. I've got fires every week, unfortunately. And here's another one, speaking of fires, and I think this will be a big one for a lot of people who are hoping he would be fit for this week. He's only just come back, hasn't he? And he's out again for 2 weeks. I think, if I remember rightly, Stolz's has got an injury proneness of about 17 out of 20. It's very, very high. So we have been pretty lucky most of the season for it not to happen, but it's happened twice now in the past sort of 3 or 4 weeks, I think.
Yeah, I think that's why we priced him quite low at 5.5, because of the amount of games he was missing. So when we did the Sims, I think we looked at the data and thought, he's not much of a player. Doesn't play that often, but maybe just because of injuries. Yeah,
he was a god.
Yeah.
These guys I'm just going through in the background, but no one's got them. He's a week away with a stub toe for Davis, and Coleman's still 2 weeks with a broken leg. Van der Star's still suspended for 1 game, so you'd expect Crowdson to play again. And then the only things that affect them, which could be a pretty big effect to be fair, is Wadado's obviously on international duty with Morocco. So Goma will be holding the fort. And I think last time this happened, they brought the likes of Zat Knight in, so you'd expect one of these guys to feature with him. Which didn't go too bad last time. People expected Fulham to ship a lot of goals, me expected. I mean, they do anyway, but they actually did alright with not so good centre-backs, so maybe it won't affect them too badly. But it's starting to add up now, a bit like Spurs, isn't it? Crowdson in goal, and then some dodgy centre-backs and stuff. Yeah, potentially ripe for the picking.
Another 18th relegation as well.
Yeah.
I think Cheltenham are going to get dragged back in as well. It's so tight down there for the last spot.
It is incredibly tight, isn't it? Actually,
if you look at the teams that are down there, so like teams that can get out, like Chelsea will get out of it. Villa, you'd expect to pick up a few points.
Leicester have changed their manager, so they might get out of it. You've got Tottenham would expect to pick up again. Sunderland, you would have thought are okay. So I think, yeah. And Newcastle, obviously they're getting Robert and the likes back. So, and Derby have played less games than everyone else. So you're right, it's going to be tough. Fulham are in trouble, I would suggest.
Yeah, I'd be surprised to see Fulham go down. Bolton, Cheltenham.
It doesn't often happen, I must say. Alright, let's move on. Ipswich, and another fairly big one that people will be relying on is Tariko. He is at 90%, but he's out for 1 day, orange. So he's definitely at the place where he could play, but it's that awkward one where you don't know now. And obviously if he does play, he runs the risk of coming off injured because he's flagged. So it's kind of that annoying middle ground. I mean, he's the kind of person where he's home to Leeds, so you're not really expecting a clean sheet, but Ipswich do so well at home, and Leeds have been terrible away on occasion, so you never know, do you, with that one.
It's tough.
It's a tough decision as to whether to start. I mean, some people won't have a choice, they'll probably have to play him, but then it's a real debate whether you sort of -4 him out now, for example. I don't have him because I wildcarded him out, so luckily I don't have that decision. That's one I don't have to mess with. The rest of the teams all good, apart from Fanides with Nigeria, which we showed you guys last stream, I think. So
yeah. Marcus Stewart's come in to the team a bit now as well. I quite like Marcus Stewart.
Yeah, he can do pretty good. His former, I swear he played for Man United. Maybe I made that up. I'm thinking of
Michael Stewart.
I'm thinking of Michael Stewart, the defensive midfielder. Yeah. And that's it, really. There's nothing else to say on Ipswich, is there?
No, I mean they're not blanking or doubling, are they?
No, they've just got some tough games. Leeds, Liverpool, home to Sunderland's not bad at all.
Windsor get good again. United.
It doesn't really. They've used most of theirs, haven't they? I mean, the thing with Horizon, it doesn't seem to matter to him, does it? Southampton, Villa, Everton, Newcastle's not a bad little runner for there, including home to Middlesbrough actually. So there's not a bad run after Man United.
It's not too bad,
yeah. Leeds, another team that have been ravaged. They've added another one to the list. Mr. Rio is out for a month. So just bigging him up as how well he's been playing of late, and now he's out. So that's Bowyer, 10 days, 90%. Obviously could come in. Bridges is 3 weeks. McPhail is 2 months still. Kendall Sheriff doesn't really play, but he's a week away. And Lennon's 2 weeks away as well. So Batty is also suspended. 1 match red card. So yeah, it's a bit of a struggle, isn't it? Radaby doesn't go away because he's retired from international football. So you'd have thought it would be Radaby and Woodgate. Obviously Woodgate's not bad in the game, is he? And Dewberry can come in as well. So
Dewberry can come in, yeah.
That's not too bad.
You expect Hart to play, surely, now.
Yeah, you would have, right? There's nothing wrong with him, so there's no reason why he shouldn't. It's an away game as well, so I'd be very surprised if he didn't play that. And Kuhl's back at 99% now, back fit. So
Kuhl's gone. Kuhl's dead to me.
He's dead to you, is he? I've bought him in this week. I've gone for it because he plays in the blank and he plays in the double. So it's for people like me who haven't got chips. He's that kind of perfect player.
I mean, yeah, he's a great pick, but he's let me down. So
I say perfect player if he turns up and they don't play fucking Harpal Singh. Yeah, so I'm relying on him now. I've gone in with Kuhl, but
could you? I mean, with the players I've got missing, like Backer's 5.5.
I've liked Backer for a long time. To be fair, I think he's been a good pick.
So do you think he can start a few games now?
I think he's played the vast majority of late. The problem is the timing's now probably bad to get on him because Bowyer's imminent any time, and obviously Bowyer quite often plays right wing where Backer can play. And Backer was just a great pick because he's on penalties when Hart was out as well, as we saw last week. So yeah, I think very shortly you're going to see Decor, Bowyer, Kuhl, I hope, left wing, and maybe Backer continues with that right wing because Bowyer plays in the centre with Decor. That's what I would expect, but there's always the chance that they switch that around and Bowyer plays out on the right wing and they play Where is he? Batty in centre midfield once
Batty,
he's back
yeah.
from his suspension. I don't know.
Kuhl is still a good pick. Like, I can see him getting a brace in the game coming up and getting a man of the match. He's a good pick. It's not been great so
He's
far.
usually just really consistent and gets what usually is good for the bonus, if nothing else. He never really returns. He does occasionally, but doesn't usually get double figures goals and assists. He's kind of like Johnston a little bit, where he can just about get there. But with him, which is different to Johnston, is he's usually hitting around an 8 average rating. He's fantastic when you buy him in the game quite often, but yeah, so I do kind of like him. But it's more for me, as I said, he plays in the blank and he plays in the double. It's a headache I then don't have to worry about, assuming he turns up. So that's why I've gone for it.
Just going back to the blank and double as well. I mentioned a bit earlier. So say if you've got, because you've got how many players for this week? Quite a few. You're doing all right for this week, aren't you?
Yeah, this week if I take a hit, I've got 11 on paper with no bench if they play.
But then for the double, you're short.
And then for the double, I'm struggling because I've got 3 Charlton, which is okay, and I'll have 3 Leeds, assuming Kuhl plays. So that's Viduka, Kuhl, and Hart. And then I haven't got anyone else. So I've got no Newcastle, where everyone else will have Shearer, maybe Dyer, possibly a defender.
Yeah.
I've got no Derby at all for the triple. So yeah, I'll probably fix that with hits, and I've got a choice: do I want to get Shearer in for a hit, or do I want to get Christie or Evanelli? Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that I've got to think about.
Yeah. So because I say you look at one of these weeks and hit that hard rather than trying to cover both, because otherwise you'd just be left short in both. So if you're doing okay for this week, but then looking too far ahead for the double, maybe just concentrate more on this week, get 11 out, strong players, and take a bit of a hit in the double game week.
Yeah, I like that. You just got to look at your team and see which one's better to target. A lot of people have got 6 or 7 players this week potentially now. So I don't think it's worth taking a load of hits, like you say, if it's then going to cause you a negative effect next week.
Exactly. You can't be transferring out double game week players to play the blank. You can't be doing that.
No, yeah, I think I tend to agree with that. And those I said already, those who've got chips are laughing really. I know it's still a struggle even for them to plan it all, but some of us are in dire straits. I mean, some people posting their team in Discord have literally got 5 or 6 players this week and aren't doing anything about it for the reasons you just mentioned. They're just going to roll with it and see what happens.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to go with it, and just concentrate on getting that high score for the double game week. If you've got 5 or 6 players, ride it out, because you're likely to have more players like Derby or Newcastle the following week. So
it's a bit of a blow for Leicester that it's out for 2 weeks. He's usually on penalties, so now he's not there. They sometimes default to with a defender. I have seen Matt Elliott take them before, for example. I know he didn't play last week, but he could be one that now might be on them. For 2 weeks anyway.
Akinbaye is away on international duty.
Akinbaye is away on international duty yet. And Dennis Wise is back 100%. He's been one of the players of the season so far, so decent. And Sturridge is okay as well. Again, for that value, I mean, that's pretty good, isn't it? 5.5. Let's move on. Liverpool. I think this is the first time I've ever clicked Liverpool and there is not a single red or orange even.
Looking great.
Fowler at 79%, letting the team down, but he's over 70, so technically he could play. I don't see why he would, but he could do. Everyone else is good. Nothing else to mention. Owen, we already clicked. He's still lacking match practice, but I don't think that really means anything at all. He's a couple of games and they're straight back in. As you already see, he played 90 last week.
It'd be great to see Liverpool just get their first 11 out and just dominate teams, really.
They've picked it up of late, haven't they?
Looking good. And I think you can get a Liverpool defender in, you can get Owen in, a cheap Biscan, or even a Gerrard's okay still.
Yeah, Gerrard's been pretty good for people.
So I think you can triple up on Liverpool going forward.
Murphy and Berger have been okay. Yeah, I do like Liverpool for the midfield. I mean, I've had Hippier all season. I like him. I like Hippier and Huncher. I like Biscan. I think their midfield punts are still viable because midfielders are just awful in general. So why not have ones that score goals like Murphy and Berger and Gerrard? And then obviously you've got Owen now as well as a teaser.
Yeah, nice.
Right, Manchester United.
Oh, not as good. Look at that.
No, it's very strange how Leeds and Man United are almost mirroring each other at the moment. 2 of the teams going for the title potentially right at the top. 2 of the most formed teams, but they're it's like the game doesn't want them to do it, and it just keeps injuring all the players.
He will struggle for the title. He's not going to be won easily.
Yeah, exactly. It really wants Middlesbrough to get that title, it seems. So Andy Cole is out for a week still. Orange 90, so obviously could feature. 1 day for Wes Brown, 90%. David Beckham was a new one, picked up in the game. He's out for 3 weeks. He's also got a ban there starting on the 16th, but I think that's 10 days away, isn't it? So he'll be injured for that game potentially anyway.
Storm Legacy saying scenes when Fowler starts over Owen on Wednesday.
Just to make me look like a chump. Yeah, why not? Barthez 10 days with a damaged foot, and Van Nistelrooy is still 2 weeks away with ankle ligaments. So, I mean,
Dwight York's time. This is it. Wednesday night's the night, guys. That we're going to be. Everyone's got to go mental if he scores.
He's still very good morale. He's still been playing all right. 7 8. He's still doing all right. He's plugging away as York. He's happy. He's doing okay, mate.
He's running the channels. Yeah.
I'm going to do it. I'll love it if he scores this week. Like I say, I bought him in, so I'm backing him. He makes sense on paper. If you ignore all past history of performance, it makes sense on paper. Just remember that.
Fresh week. Here we go.
Solskjaer 2 goals. Oh. It's probably Ilsbang again, won't he? A lot of people went Scholes this week as well because we thought he might play up front instead of Solskjaer. Obviously, it didn't happen. But I think now you probably just have to hold for this game, right? Because they're home to Sunderland, and just hope that Scholes plays.
Just click on for his suspension.
3-match ban starting on the 9th.
Okay, so he plays this one.
Plays this one, and then he misses.
Misses 3. Yeah.
Fulham, Tottenham.
It should be FA Cup, is it? That's an FA Cup. Oh no, they got knocked out by Portsmouth. No,
yeah, no, he misses 3 league games, so that's why Scholes is still a good pick after this. I don't think you can sell him. That's what I mean. It's interesting who might be on penalties though, because Beckham's out injured. When Veron goes, he obviously takes penalties, usually number 1. You've got Van Nistelrooy as potentially number 2, and Beckham's usually number 3, and then you've even got Irwin at number 4, but Irwin probably won't be playing because Sylvester's back. So I'll be interested to see where penalties go now. It's like the 4th
They've got
choice.
Hand it to York.
Laurent Blanc often takes them as well, actually. I wouldn't be surprised if it was him. It could be York though. That would be classic if he gets a penalty and he misses it or something. That'd be absolutely hilarious.
We'll be tweeting that for like 5 tweets. Like, if he's missing, we just gear it up for.
That'd be brilliant. Yeah. Do a tweet for each step of his run up. He's on his left foot. He's on his right foot. He wiggles. The hips are in show. Yeah. The net bulges. Yeah.
Retake.
Oh god. VAR. Oh fuck's it. Right. This is another one that's going to annoy people. Dun dun dun. We just bigged him up. As doing alright. I think he got bonus this week, even at left back, and he's out for 2 weeks. He's gone, so that will mess up a few plans, I would suggest.
Yeah,
because I don't know how heavily he owned is now, but I think it's still pretty high, right?
Just ignore fixtures. Just go to Gardner or Arca if you don't own them.
And it's 1 yellow card away for Hamilton Ricard before he gets a ban. Everyone else in their team, however, apart from Desiree Job, is good to play. Boxic is 100%.
Has there been any games in the Africa Cup of Nations yet? Any games taking place?
Let's see. How do I look? If we go to Group 1, they usually start with, right? On the 9th? Yeah, no games yet. Starts on the 9th, it looks like. Yeah. I can't see the chat. Are people annoyed about Gordon?
Yes, there are. If you pep talk, Alan Matati.
Yeah. I can see Inez. I'm looking on my phone. Inez Brecken. Here I was smug about not being having to take a hit. No, mate. Smugness is not a thing in this game. You can only play a week in front of
every week. Yeah, exactly.
Hit a week and 2 for Christmas. Newcastle. Thankfully, Shearer's 93% after his 5. So you'd expect him to be playing. And Carl Court is still a week away with that pesky gash leg. 24% nearly died from a gash leg.
It's not the same with Bellamy up top. Court and Shearer been doing well.
Basilas is one away from getting banned. Chettle is still out for one match. They didn't play Dabizas last week, did they? And Chettle was banned? No, they threw in Andy O'Brien and Marcelino. Dabizas was on the bench, so they're not having it. They don't want him. There was a signing though, wasn't there, which the scout leaked, I believe.
Yes, the leak that he managed to get hold of. Well done, Scout. In some hard graft for that.
So Newcastle, who have absolutely shit for cash, have decided not only to add Chettle to the list, but Danny Cadamarteri after his stunning performances so far this season. To be fair, was it like game week 1 or 2 where Cadamarteri did that? I think
it was. I think it's start of the season. A few people jumped on him.
So I'm not sure. I mean, again, it's a new signing. So part of me sits here and thinks he's just going to go straight in up front with Shearer or something stupid like that. I wouldn't be surprised. He could also play right wing in place of Dyer. You just don't know because he's a brand new guy. I
probably will. I think he probably will for a new signing. Yeah. Hopefully he'll go up top with Shearer and Dyer stays because I don't want to see that. Dyer's been really well. Has Dyer just got consistent 8s last few weeks?
He dies.
Or maybe not against Arsenal. But...
No, he didn't against Arsenal, but before that he's just hitting bonus often and just been great, yeah.
Great player.
People are asking for Solano and Robert, I can see in the chat. So as you can see, they're not here. Solano's 100%. He wants to be paid what he deserves, which I think was the case just before he got his injury. I say that no one's going to get a new contract here because they haven't got any money. So he's going to be continuously unhappy. But Robert is also 100%. He's not even lacking match practice, so they might have thrown him in the reserve game, or he's just incredibly fit, having secret matches. I don't know.
But they haven't got a game today.
No. So they are good to go ahead of the double.
A double. So what Newcastle players would you bring in for the double? If you've got Shearer already, which I think a lot have.
I still just like Shearer, Dyer, and I mean, I want to say if Chettle's back, is he back for that game? He won't be back for the first one, will he?
No, he's going to miss the first one.
Damn, I would have said him just on the chance that he takes the penalties, but otherwise, I think I'd probably still just go with a midfielder and Shearer. I'm not the biggest fan of the defenders, to be honest.
Could you get Solano though at 6 million? It's a decent price.
Definitely, yeah. I think he was obviously very good at the beginning of the season. He's got 19 for set pieces, so he takes quite a lot of them. I know Shearer's got 19 as well. I think it is, or 20. So Shearer often takes the ones closer to goal, but I don't see why not.
Yeah, I think Newcastle are going to bang in this double. I'd be tempted to captain a Newcastle player
over a Derby one.
Over a Derby, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like my choice is: do I go Shearer or do I go Christie? And just saying that out loud just makes me want to laugh. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, before the stream, I was thinking you've got to captain a Derby player 3 fixtures, but with all those players back for Newcastle, near enough full squad.
Yeah, away to Derby and at home to Charlton. And we already said if Derby are going to rotate, it might be that first game, right? So potentially that's even better than it looks on paper. Home to Charlton is usually a gimme. Charlton are just terrible away. So
Shearer's could get 4 or 5 goals in that double game week. Calling it now.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Injury third minute out for both games. Especially if I get him.
You're going to make your profile picture.
Yeah, should I change it to Shearer? Yeah, I'll do that. I'll destroy everyone. Because I haven't got him actually. That's quite a good idea. I should try that. I should go for Christie and then injure Shearer with my skills. No one's going to get Southampton players, so I'm not going to even spend any time here. They're basically all good to go that will play, and Tahar is out because he's with Morocco. So I'm sorry, guys, he's not a good signing. I know you're eyeing him up.
What a shame.
Monk's still there though. Ledge. Sunderland, Michael Gray still with that long-term injury, 2 months away. Danny Diccio's 2 weeks with the shoulder. Phillips is 98%, probably the only one most people care about. Arca decided not to play for some reason this week, but he is good.
Just what I remember as well, FPL Badger in the chat saying who's in goal for Man U this week, because Leo, I think, is back, isn't he?
I would imagine it's Leo, yeah, because he was ahead beforehand. So I don't see any reason why he wouldn't. He was 66%, was it, last week or something? So he was below that 70% threshold, so that's why Ratchabuka played, we think.
Yeah.
So you'd expect to come back in.
Yeah, I think we are going to price Ratchabuka up as a 4 million keeper, I think.
Okay.
I haven't discussed that fully, but if you want to take a risk on the third United keeper.
There's no other 4 millions playing, is there? Not that I can think of. So why not if you're wildcarding, for example? But
What, Crowdson?
Oh yeah, Crowdson, of course, but that's only going to be a week. That's a dangerous game. He's easily got a 3 in him, I think. Issa's away, so their new signing's gone to South Africa. So his average rating's not been great, but he's a decent player. I think he can do all right. He's just come in when they've had some really tough games. He was involved in the 4-0 spanking where they had a red card in the 7th minute, for example. And Swartz is out for 3 matches in centre midfield. Apart from that, all good. Obviously, they're playing Man United, so it's going to be a very tough game for them.
Yeah.
Although Man United got injuries.
Spurs against the Saints.
Yeah. Spurs, it's largely as you were. I think Poyet's a few days away. Seems like he's been orange for forever. I think he sort of came back and got injured again, didn't he? They played him when he was orange and he went off again. But he is now a few days away, so he could feature at 86%. Rebrov is 17%, 10 days, pulled hamstring, so there's no chance of him playing. Dean Richards still 3 weeks away. And Doherty's only 10 days after his broken leg, so it's only 10 days until he starts annoying us and probably taking random spots up front, which can happen.
Just hoof it long to big Gary Doherty up top.
Yeah, 4.5 defenders.
It's the new
up top. It's going to happen. One game before the season ends. I see it all the time, so I wouldn't be surprised. It will happen. Whether he'll actually do anything up top, I don't know, but he can head the ball. His jumping's not great, though. But he's got high rep. That's the problem.
He will start up top. I think he will start up top.
I mean, to be fair, though, when they've only got... he could actually play centre-back, considering Richards is out in place of King. Could happen.
King's a better centre-back.
Probably. King's doing it. His stats have got a little bit better. 1 game away from a yellow, until he gets banned. I think that's it, isn't it, for them?
Mm-hmm.
This guy hasn't played, has he? I think he played 1 game. Yeah, he did. Rushby's there as well.
Nice.
And Everson wants a new contract after his 4 and very low. You better buck up your ideas, son. Got a new contract. Moving on to West Ham. Again, not going to spend too much time here at all. Everyone.
Taller's just asking as well. Did Southampton appoint a new manager yet?
I don't think they did. Let's have a look. If they did, I don't know about it. Oh, they have. Jim Jeffries. Didn't you tweet this?
I didn't tweet that. It's exclusive tonight. No, I didn't know that. I wasn't aware of that, actually.
I didn't know that until we've clicked it either. So there we go. Let's have a look.
Bradford boss.
Is that who he comes from? Is it? I see him take over.
Is it Bradford?
Let's
click on him.
It is Bradford. You're right.
Yeah, Bradford. Yeah.
He often comes to a Premier League team. He's one of that pool of managers that always will come to a Premier League team at some point. He's got this direct attacking style of play again, which is usually pretty good. That's actually quite a big talking point, really, because Southampton were playing short passing, which was just a ridiculous idea. All the top teams play it, and obviously none of their team can play it. The game manual says that players that aren't as good do better with direct attacking style of play. So there's a chance they could do a little bit better. The other flip side to that is they lose the ball a lot because they're constantly trying the through balls. They still haven't got good players. That's the problem. So they might be turning over the ball every 5 seconds. But the man marking's good, so you could look at Varm's average rating might go up a bit.
Perlo's beard saying Jim Jeffries, the Australian comedian.
I don't even get that. Is there an Australian comedian? I
don't know. I just laughed.
That's gone way over my head, I'm afraid.
Or maybe an American comedian. Chris Hamich is saying that. I'm sure, hopefully there's some gifs I can use.
He likes his players to close down the opposition, so they'll probably have pressing on quite a lot of the time, so their players will get low condition during the game. But again, you're not going to own any of them, are you?
New manager bounce, though. That's a bit frustrating for Spurs. Does that put you off Selakovic captain?
Well, it's too late for me because I've locked in my team. I have to do it earlier, so I wish I'd known that before, Andy. But no, I mean, potentially. But as I said, the players are still dreadful, so I'd be surprised if they put in a performance. But now I'm worried.
Yeah, it's going to be 2-0 Saints now. I'm picking that out. Yeah.
God. Right. And Lundekovam is probably the only one. I know they're not going to keep clean sheets, but his average rating's still okay. And like I say, if he's getting man marking, it might be a little bit better. Is that everyone? No?
West Ham.
Oh, no, we did West Ham. We just skipped over it. We went back to them, didn't we?
Oh, okay. Whatever.
Yeah, because of the new manager. So West Ham are done. 92% for Cole, and he's one game away. Song's out for Cameroon.
Just don't get them. You can't get them.
No. So in terms of high profile, I think it's Dean Gordon and Stolzers and Good Johnson, I suppose, are the main three, and then Zola's lowish condition are probably the main. Beckham.
Yeah,
as well, sorry.
Beckham as well. Yeah, Beckham as well. So it's not too bad. I mean, people own Stolzers. A lot of people own Stolzers. It's just whether you now do you go for the blank or do you just go for the double? Like if you're transferring out Stolzers because you got to. Do you go for a Derby midfielder or a Newcastle midfielder, or do you?
I don't know if you've got to. It depends because Stolzers is such a good person to just have for the whole rest of the season. So it is essentially, potentially, I should say, 2 transfers, him in and out. But when you've got triple and stuff, he is at that price where isn't Powell and people like that like 5? Valkyrie's 6, I think. I think Powell.
Yeah, Valkyrie's 6. Yeah,
and I think Powell's 5.5. So you make a good point that you could just do it for the triple and then bring it back later. It's that kind of move where if you didn't get injuries and red cards all the time, you think, fine, I'll just bring him back with a free transfer later if I need to.
But you never
get around to it, no, because you've always got a red card or an injury to cope with. So I'm torn on that one as to whether to replace him or not. But
yeah, I mean, it's 2 weeks, wasn't it? So I think for the 2 weeks, you can go for a Derby midfielder, Valkyrie.
Yeah. So he should be back, presuming he doesn't play orange against Man United. He should be back for Villa, really, shouldn't he? Is that right? Or have I completely messed that up?
No, it's 2 weeks
30th,
back.
so Everton, more likely Everton.
Yeah.
It's quite a few games to miss. Bolton,
Villa. He'd be back for Villa.
No, he won't. He'll be orange when he's 14 days added to the 6th.
So that's 20, isn't it?
Yeah, okay, yeah, he will be. Well, this is terrible, obviously. I need to sleep. Yeah, so I might just leave him, but I might go to Valkyrie or Pal.
I think attack the treble, or if you're very short on players for the blank, I think you can maybe try and get in a blank player this week. Depends how you set up again for the double.
Midfielders and goals. Is there anything anyone wants to see in the chat whilst we're on this?
Just has there already been any like European transfers at all? Going on? Anything big? Ronald de Boer's a big thing.
No, nothing that stands out. Professor, he's a physio, surely. Well, no, he was a scout. I think you're underpaid, mate.
Chris Hermage is saying best keeper shout for this blank week.
For the blank, I have to remind myself of the fixtures. Well, that's a good segue. I'll bring up the data, I've run Sims of all the games that are playing now. This is all with the current injury information that I knew from this stream, because I did it today. The only thing I didn't know, so bear in mind, is that Southampton has a new manager, because I didn't know that. So bear in mind that I'm running it with no manager, because I just assumed we had that assistant manager is in charge. So that's the only thing you have to take into account. So let me bring this up. I have to resize it. So I don't know if you can see this. You're not going to be able to see it, are you, Andy?
No, not until the lay on YouTube, but it's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
I did see it earlier.
That's right. So if we're going by sim data, which is only a guide, guys, obviously it's not our sim, it's 20 games. In any individual, as you look in here, any random thing can happen, but I think it gives you a nice little suggestion of how the game should go. On this basis, you've got the best for clean sheets was Man United at home, so best one-off keeper could potentially be Lille. You got Chelsea at home with 11 clean sheets, so I wouldn't be spending 6 million on Kudicini, but he's an option. And the only other ones that really had any significant clean sheets was either Schmeichel or Dudek. So out of the 4.5s, I'd probably say Schmeichel. Spurs also got 6 clean sheets with Keller against Southampton. So yeah, if you're looking at 4.5s, probably Schmeichel or Keller as a one-off. Otherwise, I'd be looking at the Man United keeper, who's also 4.5, isn't he? But it's very short term. I'm assuming he only means for 1 week.
Yeah. Look at those fixtures there. I mean, Bolton, Fulham, I've got that down as 3-3 this week. I think that Pedersen's a good shout if you need a mid-range striker.
Yeah,
I think Fulham assets. I mean, Ben Morte's back again, so
Yeah, the Fulham Bolton game I've got down as just under 2 goals for Bolton and just over 2 goals for Fulham, but they're so erratic. And if you look in there, there's plenty of time. Bolton scored 4 a couple of times. There was a 6-3 in there, Bolton versus Fulham, a 1-4, 2-3, 3-1, 1-5. I mean, it's out of all the games, it's got the highest games or highest goals per game ratio, I think, out of all of them, just about. And there's quite a lot of away wins, which obviously isn't really a thing. Overall, if you look at the green on the side here, you've got Liverpool just about nicking it away. You've got Fulham potentially nicking it away to Bolton. You've got Leeds winning away to Ipswich, and Blackburn surprisingly just above Middlesbrough away from home. Didn't really see that one come in, so it is quite level, to be fair, that one. And then Tottenham, Southampton. So we might see a week where you get more away wins than usual, but obviously a lot of them are very, very close there. So hard to call.
Yeah, a lot of people are playing a free hit as well. So, what teams would you treble up on if you're playing a free hit?
If you're going on this, you've got to look at Tottenham. Have got the most goals per game here, 2.15. Sorry, for Leeds, Tottenham, and then Man United at 2.2. So I think if you're looking at attack, you want to look at Leeds attack, Man United attack, Tottenham attack more than anyone else. I'd also then look at the Bolton Fulham games to sort of fill in the gaps with just the game could be chaos, as you've seen with like 6-3s and stuff. So I think that's like where you go for the offensive.
Yeah, like a Pedersen or a.
Yeah,
like
I think Pedersen's going to be quite heavily captained this game. I say Crowdson's in there and everything. So.
That's a good shout. It's fine to do that. I mean, I think you've got York is decent. I still like Leeds. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Viduka is still going to be quite high because he's one of the only premiums that people have got and can trust to stick in without making moves. So you've got your likes of Viduka, you've got your Pedersen, you've got York if you bring him in, or Veron. I think Veron's a very good option if you've got him as well. You can say, he's obviously on. With Van Nistelrooy out, you're pretty much certified of penalties. It's a great game on paper. If you look here, Man United kept 12 clean sheets. They only kept 1 clean sheet, Sunderland, and they scored 0.5 goals on average.
For a free hit for one is
very, very tempting. Yeah. And then obviously a Spurs player like I've gone, Everson or Selakovic look like they'd be pretty good.
Yeah. FPL Lions earlier said, can you look at home and away form? Rather than home away table, can you look at the form?
I can do. It's in team stats, isn't it? Yeah. So home form, Middlesbrough and Blackburn riding high. Derby are up there as well, surprisingly.
So Middlesbrough home form, and you're saying Blackburn, you'd expect Blackburn to maybe win that or get a draw?
Blackburn are away to Middlesbrough, aren't they? So at the moment, the Sims suggest Blackburn will just about edge it, or it's very close. So it'll be interesting to see which way that goes. I mean, yeah, it depends whether form means anything. I don't know whether it does. You throw in a Man United game in there, then suddenly that'll be a loss, won't it? So I think the fixtures are slightly more important. Away form, Liverpool topping the charts. Liverpool, Arsenal and Leeds.
That's what you expect, I think. Yeah. Any other questions at all, guys? Salah saying the first Borough home game without Egiog.
Oh, is it?
So again, maybe favour Blackburn again for that, and it's the first one with Ronald de Boer. So
that's very true.
If de Boer plays, but they'll go for the away tactics. Will they still?
This is the thing, because I tried to edit it to make it the same as our sim. I chucked de Boer in there, and I did it, and quite often they would play with a 4-4-2. So that's why I mentioned that there's a chance that they could play with a 4-4-2.
Right.
But we'll see, because it's so hard to replicate when a player gets signed in the middle of the season rather than at the start. Obviously, when I'm doing it, it's at a random point in the season, so things have changed, reps have changed, all sorts of stuff. It's very far. I mean, that's why it's only a guide at the end of the day. You can't mimic it exactly. And even if you did mimic it exactly, it's been said before, we could play these games, quit out, come again, and you'd see a different result the next time you did it. It's part of the fun, I guess. It's only an average guide.
Scalasen, Fest will probably go left back.
What, with Gordon out?
With Gordon out, yeah.
Yeah.
And Ian Pearce come in.
Yeah, I would suggest so. I can't remember. I didn't look at who played. I just create the same injuries as everyone's got and then let the computer decide who it's going to pick. So yeah, is that it? Are we done?
Yeah, I think so. All good, I think. Yeah, cheers guys. Thanks for tuning in. It's not as bad as last week, definitely not.
No.
But there's lots to think about, and there's lots of strategies to think about the next couple of days, because I know that people are down to 5-6 players, like you say, for this week. And what do? Do you take a -4, -8, or just ride it out?
I think nearly everyone's going to be on at least a -4 this week, I would suggest. But, well, unless they're playing chips. I'm on -4, and I'm alright about it until I see the lineup, as usual. Right, I think we'll end it there then, guys.
Yeah. Cheers, guys. Thanks a lot.
Let's give it the awkward
Cheers,
wave
everyone.
while I try and work it out to close the stream.